today is one of those days where I'm really pleased I've prepped ahead. So I'm going to show you how I make a really quick supper. That's some frozen ragu bolognese sauce, and you can see how easy it is to make pasta that isn't baby food with the new Instant Pot Duo Crisp with Ultimate Lid. So let's weigh the pasta. So there's two of us and I'm going to use 80 grams of pasta each. And I know a lot of people love to cook spaghetti bolognese and get the spaghetti into the Instant Pot with lovely kind of scatterings of spaghetti. And every time I've done it, the spaghetti has been too overcooked for us. So I've started using penne. It's a more robust pasta and I find it works better. So if you're having problems with spaghetti, try some of the bigger shapes. I can definitely recommend penne for pressure cooking. So I'm going to be using about 400 mils of water, and I'm going to start by just dissolving in it 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Give that a stir. And that is about the hardest work you're going to do for this dish. So now we're just going to open our Instant Pot Ultimate. In we go with the pasta. In we go with the water. And the water here is just about covering the pasta, and it's also about the minimum amount needed for this particular Instant Pot. So you can't go too small or you'll end up with it not coming to pressure. And then this next bit is really fiddly. That's it. We're just putting in our frozen bolognese sauce on top. So we'll close the lid. So we're going to put it on pressure cook, 4 minutes, and steam release is going to be on natural release, and then click start and off you go. So we're on preheat, but let's see how long it takes to get to pressure. So while the Instant Pot's doing its thing, let me just share with you a couple of things about cooking this dish in the pressure cooker. So one is, it's not an exact science. So I've got an idea how much water to put in, but it does depend what pasta you're using, how much moisture is in the bolognese sauce, all of those things that we can't get completely exact about. The one thing that you do want to do is to make sure that you've got enough liquid in your pressure cooker, and that's about going back to your instruction manual and checking what the minimum amount of water is. So this is a small Instant Pot, it's just under 6 litres, but does have a minimum liquid of 500 mils, which is more than I expected. Do always check your Instant Pot to know. And the thing is, if it's super runny when I open this up, we don't have to worry, because what we do is use the saute button and get rid of all that liquid. And then the second thing I wanted to share is that you might find with different pressure cookers that they take longer or shorter time to actually get to pressure, and I've heard that this one takes longer. Now I'm going to test that against my Instant Pot Duo Crisp 8 litre, so I will do a side-by-side on that and a video will arrive. But in the meantime, I've not found it any kind of big issue, but one thing I'll say is that I have just effectively put 2 huge frozen ice cubes in this Instant Pot, so my ragu bolognese sauce is frozen. It's going to cool down that water that the pasta is sitting in, and it's going to take much longer to come to pressure. So this is a super fast dish in terms of you getting it in the pot, walking off and doing whatever else you've got to do in your life, but it's not a super fast dish in terms of it's only going to take 4 minutes to pressure cook. So we'll see how long it takes to get to pressure today to give you a guide, and then you know to just leave that extra time, you go off and do other things instead. The natural release will probably be somewhere 7 to 10 minutes I would expect for this dish, but we shall see. So in the end, it's been less than 10 minutes to come to pressure, which surprises me actually. That's pretty good. Okay, so while that's cooking, let's get our Parmesan grated. I really don't like that pre-grated stuff. So our 4 minutes is up and we've moved on now to natural release. Okay, so that's been 8 minutes on natural release, and now we're ready to open the lid. Okay, so our minced ice cubes are all defrosted, and the pasta, well, is it cooked? Let's just check. That's really well cooked. So all I have to do now is give it a stir. So everything's beautifully cooked. So to finish this off, I'm going to pop the Instant Pot onto saute and put in a handful of beautiful washed baby spinach. And this is going to cook so quickly. So we'll just stir that in, close the lid for a few minutes. Let those wilt down. And then I'm just going to stir in about half of that parmesan. Bit of parmesan on top, and supper is ready. So now you know how to cook penne, but that's not all you need to know. You also need to know how to cook these bolognese ice cubes. So if you want to see my recipe for my bolognese ragu sauce with a little bit of lentil in there, take a look at the video on your screen now, and I'll see you over there.